Choosing an AI vendor, man, it can feel like you're trying to navigate a maze in the dark. There are so many options out there, so how do you find the one that's actually going to push your business forward? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do here. Let's break down how to pick the right AI partner and, more importantly, how to avoid those really common, really costly mistakes. So let's just start with a quick reality check. Some estimates show that over 80% of all AI projects fail. They just don't deliver the results they were supposed to. Think about that. That is a staggering number. And it's not usually because the tech itself isn't powerful. It's almost always because of a mismatch between that cool tech and what the business actually needs. So the billion-dollar question is, how do you make sure you land in that successful 20%? Well, it all comes down to having a structured, strategic way of choosing your vendor. And that's exactly what we're going to walk through, step by step. And make no mistake about it, this is a huge decision. The right AI partner can unlock incredible efficiency. It can spark amazing innovation and give you a serious leg up on the competition. But the wrong one? Oof, that can lead to a ton of wasted money, frustrated teams, and honestly, some major strategic setbacks. So where do you even begin this journey? Well, it's not with the flashy demos or the complicated tech specs. It actually starts by looking inward. Before you even think about talking to a vendor, you absolutely have to know what business problem you're trying to solve. Now, this quote is so important because of the data behind it. What the source material tells us is that companies who actually live by this rule, who let their business goals lead the way, are about twice as likely to see real, measurable benefits from their AI projects. It's a simple rule, but man, it has a massive impact. And here's exactly how you do it. It really just comes down to these two foundational steps. First, you gotta define your goal. I mean, what are you really trying to do? Automate some tedious HR tasks, get way better insights from your data. You have to nail that down. And second, you have to define what success actually looks like. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? A goal like reduce time to hire by 30%, that's concrete. It gives you a clear benchmark to judge every potential vendor against. Okay, so you've got your strategy locked in. You know what your metrics are. Now you're finally ready to start looking at vendors. But how do you evaluate them in a way that's systematic and not just based on who has the best sales pitch? This simple checklist covers 4 absolutely critical pillars. You need to grill them on their expertise, and not just general expertise, but expertise in your industry. You have to confirm the technical fit, making sure their solution isn't going to create a massive integration headache for your IT team. Security, well, that's a total non-negotiable. And finally, you have to understand what happens when things go wrong and you need help, because trust me, you will. Let's just double-click on security for a second because it is that important. You need to ask these tough questions right up front. Is our data encrypted, both when it's moving and when it's just sitting there? Do you comply with the specific regulations that matter to our business, like GDPR or HIPAA? And crucially, who owns the data? The answer better be you. And finally, it's so important that they can explain how their models work to make sure they're not just a black box, but are reliable and responsible. So let's say you found a candidate that seems to tick all the boxes. It is so tempting to just sign the contract and get going. But hold your horses, not yet. First, you have to validate everything they've claimed with a try before you buy mindset. And this is where a pilot project becomes your best friend. Think of it like a test drive. It's a small-scale, controlled trial run. And the goal is super simple. Prove that the vendor solution can solve your specific problem inside your actual work environment. It is the single best way to reduce the risk of making a really bad investment. You know, validation is really a two-sided coin. On one side, you've got the pilot project, which tests the technology's performance, like, does this thing actually do what it says it's going to do? But on the other side, you have due diligence, which verifies the business partnership itself. You have to check their financial health, comb through that contract with a fine-tooth comb, and make sure you have a crystal clear exit strategy. Both of these are absolutely essential before you commit to anything. So after all that hard work, the strategy, the vetting, the pilot project, you finally made your choice. But believe it or not, the work isn't over. In fact, you could say the most important part is just beginning. Building a real, lasting partnership. And this right here, this requires a fundamental shift in how you think about this whole process. You're not just buying a piece of software off the shelf. You are choosing a strategic partner who, ideally, will become an extension of your own team, someone who is just as invested in your success as you are. And a strong partnership like that doesn't just happen by accident. It's built intentionally. You've got to involve stakeholders from all over the company, IT, finance, HR, whoever, in that final decision to make sure everyone is on board. Set up clear communication channels from day one. Plan for how you're going to get your team to actually use the new tool. And finally, schedule regular check-ins to make sure you and your new partners stay aligned on those big picture goals. So, as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this one question to guide your entire decision. Are you looking for a simple supplier who's just going to sell you a tool? Or are you looking for a true strategic partner who's going to help you achieve your vision? Because choosing the latter, well, that's what separates the 80% who fail from the 20% who knock it out of the park.